Good morning, business builders. Welcome to Business for Breakfast, where business is the most important meal of the day. I'm your host, Aaron Novinger. Today, we're going to unpack business news over the last 24 hours, sprinkled in with tips and tricks to help you mind your own business and make you 1% smarter today. All right. Now, I know why you guys are all here. You guys want the morning mark. Oh, you know why we want the morning mark? Because I need the morning mark. What is the morning mark, you might be asking? Well, let me tell you what the morning mark is. Shall I? I know why you're here. You're here for the morning mark. No props required, no drinks, no gear, just you and a functioning brain. We'll work with what you've got. Wherever you are, desk, truck, kitchen, job site, standing or sitting, it don't matter. You pick one thing you will finish today, not 10, not a list, not 3, just one. Now mark it mentally, write it down. That's the line in the sand. That's the thing that doesn't get erased. That is the pause that sharpens the edge, the moment that turns noise into signal, the tiny act that makes business owners dangerous in a good way. That, my friends, is your morning mark. Your day has officially started. Let's dive in, shall we? All right, beautiful peeps. Okay, morning mark is done. Now, are we ready for the greatest Business for Breakfast episode you have ever heard, seen, whatevs? I know you are. I know you are. Because we're moving into the next segment of Juicy News. Juicy News. And you guys know this show is for you, mom and pop Venti shop owners. Venti does not mean large Starbucks. No, it means 20. 1 to 20 employees, the mom and pop. You guys are the backbone of our economy, and no one helps you. And that is why we do this show. We do this show for you. No one else, you. Okay. Why? Because I need it. I started this for me. As long as I got Justin on, so just not, but really, this sets my day, and that's the purpose of our show, to set your day. Okay. I don't want any of the propaganda. I don't want any of the politics. I don't want left or right. I don't want red or blue. I want biz. Give me biz. You get it? So we're going to talk some biz. But before we do that, I've got a dad joke to get us started. Who wants a little bit of laughter this morning? Well, why don't we start with a little dad joke, shall we? Why don't skeletons fight each other? Because they ain't got no guts. What? Ain't got no guts. Ain't got no guts. All right. I knew you guys would like it, and I knew that it would make you on fire for the day. Now, let's get into some juicy news. All right. So, let's talk about what is going on. There are some huge stories going on today in the news. Huge. What does our boy always say? Trump. Huge. Huge. That's huge. It's huge. I don't even know how to talk like him, but I'm trying. Okay. I'm doing the best that I can with what I've got. You guys hear what I'm saying, right? I'm known for a lot of things, but impressions ain't one of them. Woot woot. Okay. All right. Here we go. Back to the notes. All right. Here we go. First story of the day. New SBA regulations taking effect on January 17th, 2026 will change disqualifying recertification. If a small business with government contracts is sold to a non-small entity, the buyer will no longer be able to exercise options years on most contracts. What does that mean? Okay, let me kind of give you a little summary here. The new SBA regulations are going to significantly reduce the value of many small businesses that rely, listen to me, on federal contracts. Okay. Because after the date, January 17th, if a business is sold to a buyer that no longer qualifies as a small business, which you guys know is basically 0 to 500 employees, the buyer may lose the ability to exercise options years on most multiple award contracts, dramatically shrinking backlog and purchase prices, right? So you guys understand what that means, right? So a small business, because the federal government has to, by default, award contracts to small business, right? So, and they've been doing this for decades. So this is not anything new, but it used to be where a big, huge company, one of these Goliaths, comes in and snatches up a small company. Well, the small company still gets to keep. So it's almost like it's a independent operating entity underneath the large entity. Now they're saying, no, we don't buy your garbage anymore. Okay. So we understand exactly what you're doing, big company. It's your way of backdooring and getting all these federal contracts through Mom and Pop Business. It does not take much brain power for you to see how that very easily can be a business acquisition strategy if you're trying to get into a corporate world. You get what I'm saying? Or not corporate world, federal contract world, right? So understand this is a big deal, but in my opinion, it's big for us. Okay, because now I'm not saying the difficulty of this, okay, is that it's going to devalue the small business that's trying to sell. Here is the keynote from this story. Here it is. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. I know, rocket science, right? Just don't do it, man. Like, just have other sources of contracts, just not the government. Because if that's all you got and you try to sell, you can only sell to a small business. Or the big business is going to lose the contracts, and they no longer have incentive to purchase you. You get it. Diversify your business. Put eggs in multiple baskets. All right. Story number 2, which is enormous for us Mom and Pop Venti Shop owners. The latest NFIB survey shows optimism rose 0.5 points. But 20% of owners now cite taxes as their single most important problem, the highest level since 2021. And by the way, it's true. Now, this year, we're going to get the biggest tax breaks we've seen. But you guys know we've been doing small business accounting, payroll, and consulting for almost 60 years. And I can concur to this that our owners are definitely freaking out about taxes. I did more end of year tax planning this year than I have in years. Okay. And NFIB is a phenomenal organization. Okay. So the optimism the optimism index, what in the world, bro? It's early, hit 99.5%, right? I mean, you guys understand 99.5, that's enormous, guys. That is enormous. Okay. But understand, we as small business owners are still stressing about the money. Okay. About taxes in particular. So make sure that you guys are doing your end of the year planning. Make sure you guys are scheduling that. And by the way, you guys know that we eat, breathe, and sleep only small business. And so if you guys have any questions about anything, you guys know you can go to businessforbreakfastradio.com, submit a dad joke, submit a question for your business, or you can schedule a call directly with me with speakwithaaron.com. And let's chat about this stuff, man. It ties directly on my calendar. Anything that's available, you guys always have access to me. But big news for us. What else is in the news today? Oh, here's a biggie. Under the new OBBBA tax code. And again, we're not talking about Mamma Mia OBBBA. We're talking about the other OBBBA. By the way, not as good, okay, and definitely not as popular, but still decent, okay. And this OBBBA we're talking about is the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Okay, right? But guess what happens this year? It's huge, man. This is huge. It's huge. It's huge. No tax on overtime. No tax on tips. No tax on tips. No tax on tips. This is enormous. 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 And I'm telling you why. Because look, the bottom line is the service industry. I know. I was a professional waiter for years. And I'm telling you, as a professional waiter, they are the hardest working, oftentimes most underpaid individuals. And so people that need overtime because they need extra money, it's not okay that people that get overtime, they get bonuses or they get tips because they're killing it at work, then have to pay extra taxes. Like extra. Like you guys know, it's not just taxes, it's extra tax. You're actually being penalized for working harder. Is that cool? No, that is not cool. Okay. So our job, okay, is to minimize the burden on the people that support the economy, working class, mom pop business. This is not rocket science. This is not difficult. Okay. So this is a huge win for all of us. Okay. No tax on overtime, no tax on tips. All your Uber drivers, your DoorDash, you give them that $3, $4, $5. Guess what? They get to keep it all now, man. This is huge. This is huge. This is huge. Okay. Next story up in the news. Ooh. For the 2026 tax year, the limit for immediate deduction of equipment purchases has doubled to 2.5 million. And they actually adjusted it for inflation. I think we said 2.56 million or 2,560,000, I believe is what it is, adjusted for inflation. But look, local shop, you guys need a delivery van, you need a commercial refrigerator, right? You can deduct the full price from your 2026 income immediately rather than depreciating over years, which is amazing. Okay. Here's something that's, I'd say, huge for small business. Okay. Here's the story. Small businesses can now claim a 50% credit for providing or subsidizing employee childcare. Yep. It used to be 25%. So you guys really understand this concept, right? Like you get what you incentivize. So if you guys are incentivizing oh my gosh, Justin. Okay. That dad joke is flipping amazing. Okay. I love it, dude. I got to write that for tomorrow. Text it to me later. Okay. But here's what's really cool about the what's happening right now with childcare, because you guys know that the biggest issue that we deal with when it comes to employment benefits, you've got basically working in a small business, meaning you have a lot of purpose and value, and you feel really needed and appreciated, but you don't have the benefits, okay, or the pay, or any of the bennies really, or work for big co, work for big co, just be a number, get great benefits, but you're a number. Whether you're there or not has no bearing on the organization whatsoever. You can clearly see that if you went to 100 people on the street and said, hey, if you have an option, you can work at a small business where you feel needed, appreciated, and valued. You guys know that's a big thing for us, is everybody wants to feel noved. And you can also have the exact same benefits as if you worked at Google. What would you do? Like, what person on planet Earth, out of 100 people, honestly, out of 100 people, how many people would literally pick, I'd like to work for a big co and just be a number and just get money. Like, that's it. Maybe 3 out of 100. Everybody else wants to feel valued, needed, and appreciated. This is not rocket science. So the fact that we're giving better tax breaks because we incentivize, right? We get what we incentivize. We get more of what we incentivize. How do you think they train those giant, orcas at SeaWorld? How do you think they train the dogs at the dog show? What you incentivize, you get more of. So if we can continue to incentivize businesses with tax breaks on certain benefits, well, that incentivizes the small business owner who already doesn't have discretionary income to do this, to do that. Okay. So understand, this is a huge thing for small business. Okay. Huge thing. Okay. And so for us to be able to have a double the credit, this is huge for us. Okay, it basically skyrockets to 600,000 for small employers. That's literally it doubled from what it was before, which is 25%. Okay, so this is and also I believe this year tax thing, where the Uncle Sam's now doing a $2,000 childcare stipend, and so now it's only going to cost you basically $1,000 after tax, right? Which honestly gives you an edge over like the corporate chains in the hiring process, right? So big thing for small business employers. The childcare credit has doubled to 600,000. What else is in the news today for us? Well, how about this? Low interest idle loans are now available for small business in Missouri, Oklahoma, Washington, Idaho, and Arkansas. And that's due to economic injury from drought. Okay, so you guys remember what we talked about before? That basically this is the SBA disaster loans opens for 5 new states due to the drought. Okay, so we've been talking about it all week, that they're opening, they've got these new relief grants and packages specifically for 2025 for those affected by the California fires and those affected by the droughts. And what was just changed is they added new states for the drought. So that way, anybody that's been affected by the drought in these new 5 states can now get the help that they need. But here's what's really cool. They're like 4% interest loans. And they're going to provide the business owner that critical capital that they need to survive and to rebuild, where they can start putting some of those, rebuilding up their storehouses. You get what I'm saying? especially with like drought farmers. Farmers are I don't know, man. There is a certain mindset that a farmer has. Like you hear like farmer strong, like you hear like farmer mad. There's just they're cut different, and I think you guys know that, right? I mean, how they can go, sometimes 2 or 3 years. They are just experts at making do and taking a dollar and making it act like $5, right? So this is a way for Uncle Sam SBA to kind of say, hey, we're gonna give you guys a little bit of help here, which is really cool, right? But speaking of help, how about we talk about what I believe is the most important help that we could ever do for you. Okay, so you as a small business owner, I know you're listening right now. And here's something that I know is true for you. You're making important decisions alone, and it's costing you money without question. Typically, big companies are the only ones that have the discretionary income to pay for a board of directors. Okay. One of the biggest advantages any business owner can have is being a part of a peer advisory group. Okay. So this is not a networking club. It's not a mastermind full of noise. It's a real room of business owners who help you think clearly, avoid blind spots, and help you make better decisions. Okay. So we run peer groups specifically for small business owners who want 3 things: clarity, accountability, and fewer costs and mistakes. That's the 3 things you've got to want. Okay. And here's the thing. You don't have to be one of our clients at the accounting firm, and it costs no money. Our belief system is simple. Why don't we give equal access to all business owners to the same money, resources, knowledge, training, and technology that the big boys do? Why can't we? And we are. So here's the deal. If you guys are interested in our peer advisory groups, I want you to go to businessforbreakfastradio.com, do a little question, submit it, or schedule us a time to talk on speakwithaaron.com. And we can talk about anything, including how horrible the Cowboys are. I know I grew up in Philly, so you guys know by default I bleed green and white. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. You can't grow up in Philly and not come out literally bleeding green and white. It's not my fault. Okay. But if you guys have questions you want answered, you know where to go. And here's the deal. You do not have to run this business by yourself. Okay. So our philosophy for over 50 years has been real simple. The only way that we're going to be in business 20 years from now is to make sure that you're still in business 20 years from now. You come first. And a peer advisory group is going to absolutely change your life. I promise. You'll get more done in 12 weeks than you had the last 2 years when you become a member of a PAG. Okay. Secondly, if you guys need help with anything, okay, so if you guys need accounting help, payroll assistance with your small business, you have help about something, man, just go to give me a question on businessforbreakfastradio.com or go to speakwithaaron.com and schedule some time to chat. Trust me, if it's available, it ties directly on my calendar, and I'm going to call you that exact time. Okay, let's jump back into the news, shall we? Okay, what else is in the news today? Ooh, this is big, man. This is big. So here's the story. Google's 2026 search updates now prioritize EAT, okay, via local mentions from neighborhood blogs and schools. This is big, bro. This is big. EATs, EEAT, experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trust, okay, via local mentions from neighborhood blogs and schools, which are what? Next door, that's a biggie, right? So why it matters? If you want to rank near me, you must ensure your business is mentioned on local community sites, not just your own local social media. Justin, we got to make a note of this, okay? Marketing, yes, this is a biggie for us. We need to put a plan together for this. The great thing about you guys listening to the most relevant business news is you will hear about stuff before anybody else does. This stuff is fresh off the press. And that's why we call it juicy news. Juicy news. All right. So, and I'll tell you. So, I was actually yesterday afternoon giving you like a little bit of a little story. So, I was yesterday afternoon. I was hanging out at the office, and I had a scheduled meeting with the gal that handles all our online stuff, and we're catching up. And she's kind of reviewing our SEO results, and we're going through the keywords, and it was particularly for our Missouri office. And she shows me the keywords, and it has the word Missouri in it. And I said, whoa, why is that in there? And she said, well, I mean, it's Missouri. I said, yeah, but stop. Clearly, you put that into some AI generator. Okay. I said, I need you to use your brain for 2 seconds. And I said, okay, if you're looking for our business, if you're looking, let's say you're in Missouri and you're looking for an accounting firm, okay? You're looking for a small business accounting firm to help you out, okay? So you're probably, I'm going to throw this out, you're probably, okay, going to Google small business accountant near me, right? Or best small business accountant near me. You are not, under any circumstance, going to Google and saying small business accountant Missouri. Never. Not in 10,000 years will anybody on planet Earth ever do that. Understand, Google over the years has gotten insanely good at pinpointing exact locations. Pinpointing. You get it. Near me is in every search, okay? So whenever you guys are doing your SEO, you can't do near me because it already pulls up. So that's like that. And actually, if you do keywords that are like small business account and you do near me, you'll actually get dinged because Google does not like you basically tagging the words they're already doing. Okay, so make sure it's like small business accountant. You don't have to do the near me, right? But what's this story telling us? Make sure your business, if you're big enough, or and by the way, we've got an entire back office team for advertising and marketing that helps us and our small business with this. And if this is something that you guys need help with, we can literally help you guys with that. Our back office team will start doing it. As a matter of fact, we're going to start really working on this to start having comments and everything in the local groups for us. So this is a big, big deal, man. Make sure you guys are paying attention. But we are going to succeed together, right? Right? Okay. What's the next story in the news? A new retail incubator model in Seattle is getting national attention for allowing 6 independent shops to share one roof and one cohesive brand. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. This is enormous. This is enormous. This is huge. You guys understand where we're at in a society, right? You guys, you'll see whenever my brain like literally has a meltdown because my brain's already thinking of something, you'll know, and you just saw it. Okay, so the next time you see me like stare up, that's because my brain just went pure into like idea mode. Okay, because this is enormous. What you have to understand about really about us as a society. Okay, so we get back from World War II in the 50s, and something happened at that time that we'd never really seen before. And as a society, all of us now have enough money where we don't need anybody's help. Right. So that's really about where the time when we started having this idea of pull yourself up by the bootstraps. You don't need anybody's help, which we all know is garbage. Okay. But here's the thing. What you have to understand about this is that we're going back to it takes a village to raise a family. We're going back to it takes a village to raise a business. You guys get this? This is what we're going back to. Mark my words. You're already seeing it. What are we seeing now? Multi-generations in the same house. Why? Save money. And this concept right here just blew my face, head, and brain right off because it is effing brilliant. Effing brilliant. Okay. Think about this. You guys know any freaking shopping center. Okay. What do you typically have? It's like I don't know, it's like the staples. Okay, I got a dry cleaner, I got a donut store, I got a nail place, I got a hair place. There's a couple of little businesses you have in there. Why in the hell are we not taking all these, putting them into one unit? Say, hey, come here for the top 5 services, and each business brings in almost like a what do they call them on the weekends? Where everybody comes in the tents, farmers market. It's like a freaking farmers market. Dude, this is genius and this is brilliant. Okay. So this is, I don't even know. I don't have words to describe how excited I am for this because the number one thing that kills mom and pop venti shops like us, these where we rent from, these property managers and these owners charge us as though we are a fortune company, and it is not okay. High rents is the number one killer for brick and mortar mom and pops. High rents. And these moron property managers have no problem not going up by inflation next year or the next time your contract's up. No, they'll double it or they'll increase it by 50%. Like, what? What? Like, if this gets to Trump, you know how a couple weeks ago, my boy, when I say my boy when he does things that I agree with. And when he doesn't, I'm like, that boy, you know. But my boy basically told credit card companies, you're going to be capping the interest that you charge. You are done taking advantage of the working class and blue collar. You're done. You're done. 10% is your cap. And I swear, if you test me, watch what happens. Test me. Dude, I freaking love this dude. I freaking love this dude. I don't necessarily agree with everything he's doing. And I don't, by the way. I am a peace guy. I don't like war. I don't like murder of innocent people. That's not my jam. Okay. But I also don't pretend to know that I have anything close to all the information on any topic that deals with government, politics, or economy. Not even close. Okay. 95% of that is held close to the chest by the administration, whoever it is. Okay. They allow certain things to be dripped to us. So I don't make any judgment calls on it. I'm just reporting to you guys. Okay. And so for this right here, the biggest thing President Trump can do is go to property managers and say, when the contract's up, you can no longer go up by X percent. You can't. If the business is a small business, you are allowed to raise the rent X about percent and no more. That right there is huge for small business. Huge for brick and mortar mom and pop. Huge. Okay. Huge. It's huge. It's huge, people. It's huge. Okay. What is next up in the news? Oh. The latest Fed report shows a sharp decline in luxury and non-essential spending in New York and New Jersey districts. Why? Why? Is it because if you go to the state of Florida, every human being you're going to walk into has their hair slicked back, wearing a chain, is like, yo, how you doing? Yeah. And because everybody that's down in Florida is freaking from New York and New Jersey. You understand that because of the Delaware courts and all that garbage, the amount of money that is leaving these two states because of the shenanigans is mind-bending. So, of course, the report's going to show a sharp decline in luxury and non-essential spending in those two states. Duh. In the honor of my boy, Scott Adams, you didn't need to do a story on that. Just ask Scott. Okay. It's like, let me see. What is logical? Everybody's leaving because of the rules and regulations. And everybody's petrified that they watched exactly what happened where the government was weaponized against a business in New York and realized, oh my God, if they will do it to them, they can easily do it to me. I can't risk it. Peace, people. Peace. Now you get it. Right? These decisions that these administrations and these state, local governments make cost them. But here's the problem. It's like a mile-long freight train. They make a change and they'll get immediate benefit, but the effects of that has to slow down like a mile-long freight train. Okay? And the effects of it, you'll feel a mile or two down the road. But they make the change today for quick cash or quick, things so they can spin it in the news. And then say, hey, you know what? Down the road, we'll worry about the issues down the road. I'll be out of office. I don't care. Right? It's just not okay. In my opinion, man, we've had people in our administration that have been me people for decades and decades and decades rather than we people. Okay. And I think everything changes whenever we get people in power that say it's we. When we is having a bad day, I am having a bad day. You get it? It should be that way, in my opinion. But what else is in the news? Okay. Check this out, people. Check this out. This is huge. The FCC is finalizing rules to make it easier for consumers to switch carriers without buying new phones. Okay. Let me just give you guys a little bit of history here. You guys know, you've been around long enough. You remember how cell phones first came out, okay? And you had to sign a contract. You were in contracts, okay? And then basically FCC steps in and says, hey, you got to deregulate. You can't do that. But then what did the company start doing, right? Well, I'll still lock you in a contract because I'm going to make sure that you can't switch as long as you owe on your phone. So none of us are in contracts today, but yet we're all in contracts because we can't switch until the phone is paid off, right? But now the FCC is saying, I hear what you're saying. I do. It's not okay. And here's why. Because the big tech companies are producing products that are now over $1,000. This, like if you need like the Samsung like trifold, bleep, bleep, right? I think it's like the Z Fold 7. I don't know what it is, but it's like, the trifold. The phone's like $2,000. Freaking $2,000. How the hell long is it going to take you to pay that thing off if you're paying $50 a month? Like, come on, man, right? That's what I'm saying. It's insane, but that's okay. But the FCC is stepping in and saying, okay, we're going to make some changes. This is big news for us, right? Because this is how these companies keep you locked in, and it's not okay. It's not okay, right? But let's see what else is in the news today. Oh, this is coming from, I think it was a article in CRI Advisors. But the story is the 20% qualified business income deduction that was previously set to expire has been made permanent under OBBBA. Not Mamma Mia. I'm talking about the other beautiful OBBBA, One Big Beautiful Bill Act. That's right. So you guys know that what that is a automatic 20% pass through. It guarantees that 20% of your pass through income remains tax free indefinitely. And this allows more confident long term hiring, spending. You're able to, we just did some profit planning at the end of December. One of our businesses that was profiting a decent amount of money. And I kind of ran simulated calculations and kind of figured out. And the big thing that we put in there was after all deductions, what's left, right? Not gross revenue, but gross profit. That number, after we take our COGS, that, take 20% off of that. It's huge, man. And now it's permanent. Now it's permanent. This is huge, 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 huge for you. Okay. Huge for you. What else is in the news? Oh, no way. No way. No way. What? Okay, here's the story. Here's the story. Congress has reintroduced a bill to break the Visa Mastercard duopoly on swipe fees. Why this matters? Swipe fees, you got to understand. I look at P&Ls every single day. Every day. I've got route today. I'm going to probably go visit with, I don't know, a half dozen, dozen of our business owners. Okay. And so I'm going to go out. I'm going to go visit with them. And I'm going out and we're talking through their expenses, right? Like we go out and we're like a pocket CFO. So, because honestly, most small business owners, what do they do? At the end of the year, they just give 12 months worth of crap to their accountants. They make my taxes due. But how the crap does that help you run your business? It doesn't. Okay. So that is our only job. We're one of the few accounting firms on planet Earth actually owned by small business owners, not accountants, which means your heartbeat is our heartbeat. Okay. And this is enormous. This is typically in the top 3 expenses behind rent, utilities, usually the next one. And by the way, I'm removing COGS because COGS comes, that's top line, deduction. So I'm talking about like gross profit, right? Out of those top 3 deductions from there. Yeah, dude, like merchant fees is big, hundreds a month. And I'm talking for a business that does maybe a couple $1,000s a month in revenue. Well, literally 10 to 15% of the revenue. So it's not 3%. It can be 10 to 15% of the revenue, right? Because of if the business has cash and we're talking about like gross revenue, like for a business that only does a little bit of money, but everything is on their credit card, it ends up being a bigger part because it's all the fees that those merchant providers charge the business owner. It's this transaction fee. If they don't provide this, it's this fee. And mom and pop owners have to spend all 7 plates of business themselves. When did they have somebody on staff who can say, your job is to find me the best merchant provider, period. And also, let's make sure that we reduce those fees. What? So the fact that Congress is stepping in to say, it stops. You guys making all your money off the back of working class mom and pop business stops today. Stops today. Okay. So this is huge for me and you. Okay. Oh. Okay. You guys know one of the big things that we talked about before, and we talked about this week, because of the OBBBA, it has retroactively restored 100% bonus depreciation for assets placed in service in 2025 and 2026. Again, immediate cash wins for any owner who is upgrading their shops, your interior, your machinery, any of that stuff. Huge, huge. Okay. What is this? Really? Whoa. Okay. Here's the story. My Instant AI has launched a way for local convenience stores to sell AI access via physical cards. So you guys remember back in the day where people would basically have what do they have? Like prepaid phone cards. Remember we have like prepaid cards, like long distance cards, right? We'd have like prepaid card. And when that thing was up, it was up. Like your phone call was done, right? That type of thing. That's what this is. But honestly, Okay, can I just be honest with you guys? You guys know I'm obsessed with this stuff. Like I'm like light years ahead. Like as soon as something's in, I use everything. But when I start like using it, I tend to be 5 to 10 years ahead of big trends that happen. And so when I start doing it, that tells me because that a lot of individuals want it. And so, but here's the thing: there's a handful of big AIs, but I'll tell you the ones that I use daily. Okay, so obviously the OG that I've used from the beginning that has probably the most information on me is probably Chat. Okay, and great because they all remember. So whenever I say, "Hey, shoot me an email" or something like that, it knows me, knows how I talk, knows how I speak, and knows how I want my stuff. And so it just makes it super easy and convenient to do that. Okay, also. Then you've got Grok, which for information, like think of like Chat as like the mom who like overly talks, and think of Grok as your dad, who's like, yeah, what do you need to know? Well, just tell me like the news. Yeah, here it is, link, blah, blah. Like get through it, get over it, right? And then the sleeper that's coming up that is dominating and owning everyone and anything, Gemini. So here's what I'm telling you guys. Okay. I'm not saying this is good or bad. What I am telling you is that you must do this. You must know this. I've told you guys this a million times. You will hear me say this a million times more. If there is one skill that you develop over this year, it is only one skill. You must learn prompt engineering. And here's the thing with AI: just pick one, man. Just pick one. Okay. And now that I don't know. It depends on what it is, because that's the thing with me. And so just pick one of them to start with. Okay. And I don't know, like depending on what you're trying to do, but just pick one and then pay for the upgraded service. So you get like the pro version of it, like the $20 a month version or the $10 to $20 a month version, that one. Now use it. Go to YouTube, find some prompt videos on how to prompt AI. Okay. The one you're using, go search that on YouTube. You guys know Google is the #1 search engine on planet Earth, and YouTube is #2 search engine on planet Earth. Okay. So trust me, you'll find it. Jump in there. But you must learn this. This is non-negotiable. I right now save a minimum of $10,000 a month, a minimum of $10,000 a month of professional services I am not having to pay for because of my AIs. And I have 3 that I pay for. So I don't know, what am I, like $60 out per month? And this is a perfect example I was telling you guys before. Do not trip over dollars to pick up pennies. Do not trip over dollars to pick up pennies. You guys hear me? You get what I'm saying. Okay, for the love of Mary. We were talking about this today with Facebook. Don't you think if those guys like, okay, we can only send out 2 organic links per month unless you are verified, $15 a month. And that's where most of your business comes from. Are you a moron? Are you just going to literally just decide on your own to stop feeding yourself business because all of a sudden now Meta is charging $14.99 a month to be verified? What? Doesn't make any sense. Okay. So just don't be stupid, right? Don't be dumb, And that's also another reason why you guys hear me talk all the time about our peer advisory groups. You have to be in one. You must be in one. This today, in this time, it's non-negotiable. Okay. If you're a small business owner and you're listening right now, I know one thing that is true about you. You're making important decisions alone, and it's costing you money. It's a fact. It is a fact. Okay. One of the biggest advantages any group owner can have is being a part of a peer advisory group. Okay. So this is not a networking club. It's not a mastermind, bunch of blah, 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 rah, rah. No. It's a real room of business owners who help you think clearly, avoid blind spots, and make better decisions. Okay. So we run peer advisory groups every month. Okay. So the January one is already locked, or we've already got the first February one filled. So we're taking spots for the next one. Here's the dealio. We never charge. They're 12 weeks long. And you don't have to be a customer of our accounting firm. We open it up to all business owners because we all need help. Think of a peer advisory group as your own personal board of directors. It's your own personal board of directors. You'll meet every week with this team of business owners, high-level capacity, high-capacity individuals like yourself. And you guys will collectively, listen to me, you will collectively make decisions on your benefit and behalf. And trust me, you have no concept of how important it is that every idea that comes out of your brain, you have a team of people you trust, okay? A team of people that you trust, and their only job is to shoot as many holes in this idea to make it look like Swiss cheese. It's their only job. Their only job. Okay. Their only job. And that is why we run peer advisory groups. You will get more done in 12 weeks than you have the last 2 years. Mark my words. Okay. All small business owners need accountability. The higher we go up in leadership, the less accountability we have. Even Tiger Woods needs a swing coach. We need swing coaches, right? So if you guys are like, oh my God, I am sick and tired of the crap, and every year I have all these big ideas and goals, I get nothing done, I'm done. I'm done. If you're saying I'm done being mediocre, I'm done suffering, I am ready to start taking ownership of my life today, then you need to go to speakwithaaron.com and schedule you and I a time to chat. Or you need to go to businessforbreakfastradio.com and submit a question. Let me know, because we're going to do this together. Okay. You feel like you're on an island by yourself, and you're not. You're not. We're all there with you. Okay. So go to speakwithaaron.com. You've got questions about something. If you guys have questions about your business, you want to talk about accounting, you want to talk about taxes, you want to talk about bookkeeping, you want to talk about payroll, I don't care what it is. You want to talk about consulting, schedule a call with speakwithaaron.com, and we'll talk about everything, anything, and including if we want to talk about how horrible the Cowboys are. I'm telling you, we'll talk about anything, okay? But schedule it, or businessforbreakfastradio.com. Submit a question. We'll talk about it on air, or I'll respond to you directly. All right? Well, if we can, let's jump back into some beautiful business news, right? We've got a few more minutes, and then we're going to switch into our next segment, but we've got some more really, really cool things coming, okay? So, all right. So there's a couple biggies here we need to talk about. Number one, zero-click search dominates 29% of local queries. I told you guys this already about Google, okay? Incentivizing people that are talking in the local blogs and websites like Nextdoor about your business. Literally now is a part of how you rank on flipping Google, man. You get this. Like, I get those freaking things from Nextdoor, like, and I'm like, delete, trash, spam. And it's always like, my next door neighbor's black cat is like still walking around and we haven't found him. Like, why did this stuff come to my inbox? Okay. But now, if you want to show up on Google, people got to be talking about you. This is huge, bro. People got to be talking about you. Okay. So here's the story. Nearly 30% of searches now get their answers, address, hours, prices directly from the AI overview without clicking your site. I do it myself. What do I do? That's literally what I do. When I'm like, if I've got like whatever I'm doing, if I'm searching a business, whatever, part of my prompt that I write, because I've spent years learning how to prompt. And so I write like mini stories for my prompts. And so one of those things is going to be, if I'm researching, like, give me the top 5 businesses that do X. Okay. So give me a pros and cons list, summarize each one, maybe 100 words or less, give me full contact information, and give me your recommendation at the bottom. Did you hear what I just said? What I just said took me less than 60 seconds to say. And that is a prompt that this very second you can do with any of the biggies, and watch what happens. And then you'll be addicted. So what they're talking about is not everything comes from Google anymore. Now it's a lot of 30% is coming through AI results. Okay. So you can see the shift. You see it. It's shifting. Okay. It's big. All right. Last story of the day, and we're going to shift into some other amazing segments. All right. EV credit expiry dampens used car market. So the expiration of several federal EV credits has caused a slump in used electric vehicle sales at independent dealerships. Like I think you guys understand this. And I have to tell you, man, love or hate Elon Musk. Love the dude. Always have. You will understand everything he does when he first starts out. He is very, 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 very systematic. Go look, okay? Everything he does when he first starts, he always partners with the government and whatever he's doing, okay? So that way he's got subsidies, because when you start something big, now service-based is different, okay? You can pretty much start any service-based business organically for under $1,000. I'm not exaggerating. Under 10 grand if you want like some bells and whistles, okay? But manufacturing, no. And my expertise is service, okay? Like I get that really, 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 really well, right? Like owned my first restaurant at like age 20, was a professional like fine dining waiter for years. Okay. Pretty much all my businesses that I've owned have been service-based. Like I get that really, really well. Okay. But what we don't get and understand is the amount of money and resources required to start manufacturing, which is why, if you guys remember years and years, this is probably like 5 years ago. And it was one of the most hysterical things I saw online. Okay, because the thing about Elon is the dude knows how to throw jabs and digs. Okay, so literally, this was he was working on Apple. It was like a big thing. It was like one of their big top secret projects they're working on the Apple car. Okay. They had like 1,000 engineers working on it. Like the whole world knew, but like I was like, nobody knows, but everybody knew. It's kind of like when a cat is looking over something and the cat only thinks that you can only see their eyeballs and you see the whole head. Apple's like, you can only see my eyeballs. And they're like, no, moron. We see all of you. Okay. We know all you do is copy. Okay. The dude that innovated died over 10 years ago. This dude just manages. He don't create. Right. So usually owners fall in one of two categories. You've got the oddities, the black sheep that are both. Okay. I'm both. Elon's both, right? Who does both, right? The create, right, and manage. So, but what has Apple created? Literally. Okay. Hold on. Let me get this straight. Their Meta Vision, whatever. Okay. Or not in the Meta. That's Facebook. But I'm saying their ocular 3D, virtual reality glasses. Maybe that's what they've created. But everything else, no, man, it's just copying everybody else, increasing the size of the blob. Okay, because now they're just a blob. They have no focus. They're not pointed. They're not lasered in any direction. They're just a blob. They're big and everything. And so no, this is different, man. This right here is basically saying, look, what we're starting to see now is more of a level playing field. Okay, because you have to understand, big companies have a lot of extra money laying around, like investing in that stuff. And so Uncle Sam says, hey, cool, but we need to basically, we need to spread the love elsewhere, not just here. And so even though the EV manufacturers are upset by it, as a consumer, I'm cool with it. I dig it. So it's not like it affects necessarily me today, but it's important for you guys to know how the shift is happening, right? So with that wraps up our Juicy News segment. Okay. Wow, I just hit the microphone. What the heck, man? I was excited about that. Juicy News. Okay. If we can, let's shift over into a 7 plates lesson. Okay. So you guys know that I've been hammering. You as a business owner have to stop taking everything personal. You're killing yourself, you're killing your team, and you're killing your customers because every single time some team member or customer says, hey, you serve my soup like warm and not like super hot. Well, blah, 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 blah. What the hell is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? How at God's green earth do you get offended when somebody just says, by the way, if you put a little bit more pepper in this thing, it'd be like freaking amazing. Why do you get offended? Stop the crap. Stop it. I'm your dad. I'm telling you, stop it. You're done today taking feedback from your business personally. You're done. Done. Here's why. If you listen and remove your ego, they're there to help you build and grow your business. Yeah, I know. It's funny, right? But you have to understand feedback. When you understand feedback, you will stop taking this stuff personal. You are a business owner. You should take your business personally. You should. Okay. But you also receive feedback and you take it personally and you shouldn't. You get it? Take the business personal. Take it personally, yes. But you have to remove feedback from you personally. Feedback is about the product that is housed in this brick and mortar. They're not saying you're a piece of crap. They're not saying that. But if you do this wrong, you will run off your customers. Hear me. You will run them off. And let me tell you something. When you have a customer that complains, listen to me. When you have a customer that complains to you, okay, remember the 4 C's of feedback: comments, criticism, complaints, compliments. Okay. If somebody does one of those 3, comment, criticism, or complaint, the first thing you should be thinking is, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. First of all, that takes a lot of courage for you to share that, because most small business owners take that stuff personal. And I knew it took a lot of courage for you to even bring it up. And I want to let you know, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you for sharing that, because you as an owner have to be thinking this one thing. If that one customer is dealing with it, how many more customers do I have that aren't saying anything, who are just leaving me because they don't want to share, because they're worried you're going to unload on them like every other small business owner who takes feedback personally, right? from this day forward, when you hear feedback about your business or about you, okay, if it's presented in a respectful way, hey, peace and love. Can I share something? Can I give you some feedback? Right? If the person's being a butthole, yeah, we're going to be defensive about that. But if the person comes to you in love, okay, peace and love, and is really trying to help you succeed, your responsibility is to say thank you and immediately imagine a cash register. When the person says, hey, you're this, you're that, the business is this, the business is that, your job is to do what? Thank you. And imagine a cash register, like the old-timey cash register. Hit the button, cha-ching, and the door flies out and money's flying out. Every single time you catch feedback, you should immediately be thinking of a cashier. Cha-ching, money flies out because it's helping you build and grow your personal brand business, right? Helping you as a person be better as a person, or the business, all designed to help you and or your business grow. You know where I learned that from? My boy, Scott Adams. Yeah. If you ever, I give people 2 challenges every time I talk to them. 2 challenges. 1, 30-day cold water challenge, cold shower challenge. I did that 10 years ago. I have not touched hot water in over 10 years. When I say that, hot showers, maybe 3 times in 10 years have I done it, and that's literally when if I have COVID or the flu or something, and I just have to. I refuse. I'll do a segment on that different time about why I do it. It has nothing to do with the health benefits. 0. Go do it. Go look at the TED Talk about 11 years ago, about 12 years ago, by a gentleman called the 30-day cold shower challenge. It's a TED Talk. It's changed my life. Okay. And the second thing it'll change your life is you go and you 30-day Scott Adams challenge. It's a 30-day Scott Adams challenge. You want to know about world events, but have it from a point of view that is not spun as propaganda, who teaches you the same exact time critical thinking, who at the same exact time teaches you persuasion skills, at the exact same time teaches you canary in the coal mine, how to spot news and actually predict world events better than people that actually have a specialty in that. 30 days will change your life. Okay. And that's where I learned that from. My boy, who passed away yesterday, actually on the 13th. That morning before the show, our modern day Oracle, Scott Adams, passed away a couple days ago, and the world has a huge hole. And so I will do everything in my power to make sure that his memory, his legacy, and who he is continues, because it's important and it's worth it. Okay. And so really want to be intentional with you guys to make sure that you guys understand that's a big thing on feedback. Make sure you don't take it personal. Make sure you guys are seeing a cash register. See it. Okay. All right. Now let's kind of wrap up if we can. So you guys know, before we wrap up, we're going to move into the next segment before we close out. And the last segment that we always do is a reframe from Scott Adams' latest book, How to Reframe Your Brain. Okay. And the book is amazing. Okay. So this particular one, this chapter, so you guys know that every day at the end of our show, I like to leave you guys with a reframe, because you have no idea how many of these actually have changed my life. And I'm telling you right now, here's statistics. There's enough of you guys watching that when you hear a reframe, it will change your life. When you hear it, it'll change your life. It's just a law of large numbers, just the way it works. Okay. But this particular chapter for Mr. Adams is actually pretty incredible, because he talks specifically on chapter 8 of How to Reframe Your Brain by Scott Adams. Chapter 8, how to make your own reframes. And I'm going to give you guys a story of this exact thing. Okay. And it goes exactly what I was talking about before with my cold showers. Okay. So it was 10 or 11 years ago. It was about a year after that TED Talk came out on 30-day cold water challenge or cold shower challenge. So I basically go and watch the video, and I'm like, okay, I absolutely unequivocally hate being cold, and I hate cold water. Like, I hate it. I was a professional lifeguard and swim instructor for most of my young adult years. Okay. So, which means at 6 a.m., I'm teaching swim lessons to moron 5 and 6-year-olds in a swimming pool that is 65 degrees. Okay. And you've got these damn kids, and you're like, they're over there, and you're like, okay, kick. And you're trying to be like 50 feet away from those kids because you don't want, and they're all like having a blast and all their lips are blue and crap. Okay. Like, it's just crazy. Right. And so But I hate being cold. But when I saw this, I thought, oh my word, because I have crazy ADD. And if you know anything about ADD, the most difficult thing that somebody suffers from ADD deals with is putting a leash on the tiger. And so I always use the example of The Hangover. Number one, they all wake up and there's a freaking tiger locked in the back room. Okay, that is an ADD brain, and that thing has to be told what it can do. It has to be trained. You have to train this tiger. Okay, you got to train the tiger. And so when I saw this TED Talk, and he talked about it, just completely transformed his mental fortitude. It blew my mind. I said, "Oh my gosh, got to do it." And so I just signed up. Matter of fact, it's not on my YouTube channel, but it's private. But I did the very first video. My daughter filmed it for me. I had my swim trunks on. I got in the shower, and it's still on my private YouTube channel as a marker for me that that's the day that my life changed, and it did. I decided from that day forward, I would not allow my brain to dictate my priorities in life. I would dictate that, and I would tell my brain what to do. You must follow. And I knew from this day forward, after I did the cold shower challenge, because you have to understand the mental fortitude that you have. As soon as you wake up in the morning, okay, and every day before I do the show, I've already had my cold water shower, okay? And so when you wake up, the first time you have to do this, okay, and you go and you've got your hand on the faucet, you go, okay, here we go. Everybody says it's amazing, blah, blah. It's going to help me with my, decision making, blah, blah. Okay, cool. But okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, turn it on. No, doesn't happen. Okay. And you're like, what's going on here? And then, so the first time I took that, it took me 15 minutes to turn that thing on cold. 15 minutes. And I'll tell you something happened after about 2 or 3 years of me doing it. And that's what I want to talk to you today about, which is how to create your own reframe. Okay. So about 2 or 3 years in, now remember, I told you I hate cold water. I hate being cold. I hate cold water. If you ever see me in the evening, like I get home last night, I had a sweatshirt on, jeans, and I was covered up underneath a blanket. And of course, Rebecca's polar opposite. So she's like, got a t-shirt and shorts on. And she's like, I'm hot. Tell me to turn the fan on. It's like, I don't know. It's amazing. I love it. I love the polarities between us, but we're also the same person. It's beautiful. And so I'm not kidding. I decide I'm going to do this cold water challenge, and the mental fortitude changed my life. Okay. So, but after 2 or 3 years, I started not looking forward to doing it. Okay. So listen what I'm saying. This is mental, and it was tiny, but I started noticing that I was having these mental thoughts like, I hate taking cold showers. I hate this. I don't want to do it. I freaking hate this stuff. And all of a sudden I had this, do you hear what you're saying? Do you hear it? What's one of the most famous sayings by Marcus Aurelius, right? Amore fati, love your fate, right? You must learn to control your thoughts. Your happiness is based on the quality of your thoughts. Hear me. Your happiness is based on the quality of your thoughts. If the majority of your thoughts are that of good, happiness, gratitude, and kindness, that will reflect and manifest outwardly. If you spend most of your time being critical, always finding the fault, and that's your default. I used to be like that. Okay. High capacity people tend to be like that. Okay. Controlling people, high capacity people tend to be like that. Okay. I was like that. But you have to learn to do it differently. And that's what I decided to do. I said, you know what? This is going to be a big, big problem for me because I'm never, ever going back to hot showers. Never. Okay. I can't. Okay. I depend my mental fortitude. You understand that the Greek Spartans were known to only bathe in the creeks because they thought hot water made them weak. And it does. And it does. It makes you weak. It makes you weak. Do you want to be weak today? Go do it. Go do it. Today is your day. And that's what I decided after about 3 years of me not doing it. I said, I've got to have a different way of saying this and thinking this. I can't do it the way I've been doing it. So you know what I did? I came up with a new reframe because I knew I couldn't go into the shower with the mindset of, I love this. Because the reframe that you have to say, remember this, it must be accepted by the subconscious. Okay. It's got to bypass the conscious and has to be accepted by the subconscious. Okay. But your subconscious has like a door like the size of from like the Wizard of Oz to get to the Oz. Like that's a huge door. Your subconscious won't let it in. So I knew I couldn't go in to the cold showers like, oh, I love cold showers. No, my subconscious like, liar, I'm not letting you in. You're not getting in here. That's a lie. The subconscious knows if you're lying. It knows. You can't lie. You can lie to your conscious. You can't lie to your subconscious. So it's like, okay, I can't say that, but I have to say something that gets me excited about this that I know will be accepted by my subconscious. Refreshing. Mm-hmm. Did you feel it? Refreshing. I know. That's literally, as I say it, I feel it with you. So now, before I get in, I get giddy. Oh my God, it's so refreshing. I can't wait. It's so refreshing. I still hate being cold, but my cold showers are refreshing. So for you, whatever you're struggling with, chapter 8 of how to reframe your brain, understand the 5 rules of reframe from Scott Adams, my boy. Go buy his book on Kindle. Go buy it on Amazon. It'll change your life. Rule number 1, reframes don't need to be true or even logical, and they do not. Number 2, reframes only need to work. You don't have to understand why they work. They just need to work, okay? Number 3, you can quickly test reframes in your mind and body. You just watched me do it. Because when the subconscious says, I'll allow it, then it'll open the door and it feels right. But if it doesn't feel right, it's not opening the door, which means that it's not the reframe that's going to work for you. You got to find something that works for you, okay? Number 4, a reframe approaches a topic from a new perspective. This is refreshing. I never had that perspective before. You'll hear a lot of them about alcohol. Scott Adams for years and years and years would say, alcohol is poison. Alcohol is poison. And you have no idea the thousands of people that said, that actually helped me stop drinking or minimize it to almost nothing. Makes no sense why it works. They just work. And the 5th rule of reframing, if the reframe creates an advantage, keep it. If the reframe creates an advantage, keep it. Keep it. Cold water is so refreshing. Keep it. Keep it. Okay. All right. What'd you guys think of today's show? I told you it was going to be the best show you've ever seen. I told you. Okay. And you'll see tomorrow, even better. All right. That wraps up another amazing episode of Business for Breakfast Radio. You guys know, go to speakwithaaron.com if you have questions, you want to talk to me directly. That links directly to my scheduling page, my calendar. Or if you have questions about the show, business, whatever, go to businessforbreakfastradio.com. And again, yes, we can talk about anything you want to talk about. You want to talk about your business, we want to do some consulting, we want to talk about bookkeeping, payroll, taxes, whatever, we'll do it. We'll talk about it, okay? So businessforbreakfastradio.com, speakwithaaron.com. And we'll do everything. If it's a question, I'll reply back to you or I'll answer on the air. And remember, guys, if you guys think that it is hard or it is easy, you are right. Okay. So do you guys know what time it is? Do you know what time it is? Hold on. Do you know what time it is? Do you know? It is time to get to work.